Can you feel the sunlight of a brand new day? Our hands held tight together, chase the gray skies away. Can you hear the music of our lullaby? The bloodshed and the tears have passed into the night.
Hello everybody, this is Snarist, and welcome back to my Eternights Expert Mode walkthrough. This is part 9, The Hospital. And this is the story mission that's going to conclude Act 4. Oh, sorry, it's the story mission that's going to conclude Act 3 and leading into Act 4 for the next part. So as I said before in the previous part, collect that black essence crystal right behind the building there. And then you'll move on through doing a couple of puzzles, making your way through the hospital. And I quite like this section of the game, even though it's rather brief. I'll just, I apologise if the commentary wasn't super riveting in the previous part. I think it's an example of experimentation that I'm going to be doing where sometimes videos are going to be long and there's not a lot to discuss with the videos, and so I've got to think of things to talk about. Something I could help with that is getting prompts, discussing video topics, something else, something I did, something I find fascinating. Now this is pretty simple stuff right now, same as what you've already been dealing with. You'll have the enemies with the barriers, they've got different elements. Now they're going to mix it up by having some ice elementals in which fire is going to be useful, and this level in particular is going to be utilizing Min, where you're going to need her abilities. And so, while you may not have all the days needed, as I'm on my last free day, you may not have them all to do all the activities you want with the characters. At least make sure that Min is upgraded so you can get her stun wave abilities, and because she's key to defeating this final boss coming up at the end of this act, having her at a higher level means we're going to be able to break through the barriers a lot easier than we did with the last boss. Because that's one thing I will say that is a rather unbalanced but in your favour, is that the further on through the game you go, when you add in, in this particular act right now, when you add in all the other characters, and the only ones that will join you in combat being Sia and Min, they're not going to be held down by the fact that you can only upgrade them to rank 2 or even rank 3. Now you can get them up pretty damn high. And I apologise for the stammering and stuttering more than usual. It's just, I've been doing commentary all day, doing this and organising some other videos and everything, just taking advantage of the one free day I have left before I got to go back to work. And every once in a while I got to stop and I got to pace myself, just because, well, I don't live alone. I've got my other family in the house and they're going up and down the stairs, they're going out through different places, they got their music blasting, or they're doing this and doing that. So while it's important that they respect my privacy and make sure to keep things quiet when they go near my door and everything, I also understand that as part of sharing, isn't it? It's something you just got to learn to live with. One of these days though, I'll be back out on my own and yeah, I'll be able to record much more freely without having to worry about too much noise. Then I can do all the commentary I want. So you'll see some new enemies here and there, but they're just basically reskins of the same type of enemy, just some slightly different animations. But at this point, when combined with your new blast sword skill and with the stinger still being very useful, an upgraded elemental fist and other elemental upgrades for the other characters and their abilities being put to use, you shouldn't have much of an issue with this mission in particular. The only real tough thing you'll have trouble working out, and some of the more confusing things, are the puzzles. In particular, it's both very simple but also kind of confusing depending on where you look. When you go into the hospital, there's going to be this puzzle where you've got to select the correct cat portraits with certain eyes, and they've got to line up with how they're displayed in the final picture. And it's always the same. You've always got to pick the cats with 3 eyes and the cats with 2 eyes on each side. And there's several rooms with these different cats portraits on them. But if you know where to look, then it makes the hospital much easier to get through. Alright, so now we've cleared the way, we go on inside, and we're inside the hospital now. Now there's a lot of different places you can go not really a lot to explore. There's a few black essence crystals lying about, but we don't really need them because I've got pretty much all the upgrades I'll need. Because my blast is fully upgraded, I've got endurance, I've got death blow. You know, I'm all set pretty much. So you just fight the occasional enemy here and there just to build up your elemental gauge. Go up the stairs to level 2. And this is what I mean by the cat puzzle. So you need to select the portraits that fill in the correct eyes with lights. And you want to go for the ones with 2 eyes and the ones with 3 eyes. And there's going to be another puzzle just like that to exit the hospital and move on to the boss fight. And it's going to be the exact same portraits. So you select one with 2 eyes and one with 3 eyes. And you can see all the lights on the cat portrait open up. So coming through here, we're going to be making our way up and down some more stairs, and then we're going to be coming to a long series of gauntlets. A couple of them are pretty tough, but for the most part, it's not really that bad. You follow the red lights as well. If you see any doors with like red glows to them, red ominous glows, that's how you know that it's the way to go. Now these are the double baseball bat guys. I'm pretty sure this is the first time we fight them, but as long as you move up to them and move to the left and the right, they're pretty easy to get perfect dodges on. In particular, one move they do, I think it's their 3rd attack out of their whole combo string, is they jump up and do like a long wind up before they come down and swing. That's super easy to get a perfect dodge off on. More projectile enemies, so use them to build up your elemental gauge, get your strike in, do your blasts, so you can get tons of damage and you can get your death blow up, use death blow. But unfortunately, when you use a death blow on an enemy, that's not exactly the same as stunning, so when you use it on a heavy enemy and go to attack the enemy next time, they'll block it. Now keep in mind that while the shield guys will just block it and you'll bounce off, when it comes to bosses that have that same technique, a lot of the times they will do damage back to you, including the boss that's going to come up at the end of this act, and 2 other bosses in the game. Those bosses being Dahlia and Umbra. So we go through to level 3 here. And in this section, we're going to be fighting 2 newly introduced enemies, and it's these things here. I hate these things. They're so fast. By the way, you can use this as well as a legitimate strategy to open up your mission menu to slow down time, and this is Min's stun wave. The first time I use it, I believe. And now they're completely stunned. Because I had it fully upgraded, they're now stunned for 11 seconds, so I can get some nice big combos on them. I should have used Death Blow on the other enemy to wear them down, but now my gauge is charged up. So I'm just going to use my own ability, because my own ability does so much more damage than everybody else's. And if they're weak enough, then I can get another combo going. But yeah, and look at my SP gauge, the purple bar right there. Min's Stun Wave was the first ability from their moveset that I used to drain the SP bar. And look how little it's gone down. It's a smidge. Something that powerful and charges up relatively quickly only took down that much. Isn't that ridiculous? Like, I'm so used to trying out for the challenge run I tried to do. By the way, when you go down the stairs, go in here to this room, defeat these enemies, and then activate the cat portrait with the eyes. They have 3 eyes, and the other one has 2 eyes. And you can open yourself up to the next area that lets you get out. It's so easy to forget how broken you can get in this game after a while. Whereas, this is like the 2nd time now where I've beaten Eternights and gone for a no upgrade run. And you are not nearly as capable in that challenge run as you are in this. I mean, I kind of like it though, because part of the appeal of a lot of older games as well is that they were challenging because they kicked your ass, because you made mistakes and they punished you for it. But if you didn't know what you were doing, that was why. If you do know what you were doing, you go back and replay these sections when you have more knowledge, and suddenly it's not as hard as you remember. And that's sort of where I'm at now. I can barely remember the first time I played expert mode on this game, but I know I didn't have an easy time with it. I still had fun, but I didn't have an easy time. So as soon as you go out of that room, just come straight across, down the stairs, because that's supposed to be another cat room where you can open up the cat portraits, but that's not the way to go. If you remember, that first cat room we went into was glowing red, so that's a hint as to where to go next. Just go down the stairs, go across the hall, and come out to this little sort of parking bay area. Don't go ahead too much, otherwise you'll get hit by that stun ball. Just go on ahead, And then you'll be introduced to a neat little motorcycle section, funnily enough. I wish there was actually more of this in the game, or that it had a few more controls. But it's called Sia's Ball Cycle, and it's pretty funny, actually. And it's just more of the ridiculous things I wish they leaned more into, because Sia programmed what is essentially a vehicle in the form of a Pokeball. Just throws it down and then it spawns a vehicle. But still, despite being very gimmicky and kind of a one-off, it's still pretty neat. It's still a pretty neat section. I like it a lot. And the barriers that you see popping up is very fitting for the boss's power of being more defensive, having a lot of shields and utilizing them, but Minon's also got a lot of utilization with shields. And this section here is going to be the toughest that catches you out in this motorcycle section, because if you nick even just the tiniest bit of the route, sometimes the hitboxes are a little bit weird and it can throw you off and kill you. But this section isn't very hard at all. And once you get through to the end of it, you'll be fighting what I call the Infected Duelist, and that'll be it for the chapter, and I'll see you in the boss fight.